If you've already seen my last Mass Effect Andromeda video, then you already know that I have the hots for the female Turian squadmate Vetra, and my writer's main goal as Pathfinder is to build the perfect harem like the typical anime protagonist. Although, this can be challenging and discouraging at times because of the weird character models. I mean, we literally have a Karen and models that look like Addison in this game. Now, we're all aware that the character models in Mass Effect Andromeda is not really its strongest suit. I mean, it's actually one of the worst parts of this game, and it's not like BioWare is incapable of making pretty models. In the original trilogy, we have pretty and beautiful characters. We're talking about Jack, who in my opinion has the prettiest face in the Mass Effect universe. Ashley, even though she started being a total bitch towards the later games. Miranda, Liara, assuming she doesn't have 16 nipples or something. Commander Shepard, who's literally a model in real life. The best girl Tally, despite this being one of the most disappointing face reveals of all time. And of course, the giver of the lady boner himself, Garrus Vicarian. And of course I get the point of not making every character unrealistically look like supermodels like they're from the Final Fantasy universe. But is anyone really complaining why Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa look like every person's wet dream? Anyway, I got a little sidetracked there, but you get the point. So what can we do to make it just a little better? Well, that's where mods comes in, my friends. So let's start off with Cora. Initially, I really didn't have any much issue with her original design. I mean, she's not really pretty, but at least she doesn't look like a fucking homunculus like Addison. My main issue with her is just her Karen hair that was driving me nuts. So my original reason for modding was to basically just change her hairstyle. But thanks to the Mass Effect Andromeda modding community, I was able to transform Korra into a definite waifu contender. Take a look. With that beautiful new complexion and those pretty blue eyes and that perfect blonde ponytail, my writer that was for sure gonna go with the kawaii dinosaur squadmate Vetra is seriously having doubts now. This is already going too perfect. And before we move on, I made sure to flirt with Korra because Ryder's goal is to flirt with every female species he meets in order to maximize the chances of getting laid. So up next we have PB. There's actually a couple of face swaps for PB that makes her really attractive, but I didn't really mind her original design because I think it suits her voice and character. What I didn't like was that stupid black face paint on her eyes, so I just basically removed it. Plus, it had a bonus purple eyeshadow thing, so even better. And of course, before I leave, I made sure to flirt with her, and with that, we're one step closer to getting that blue Asari puss. So moving on to other squad mates, up next we got Liam. So what I did for Liam here was absolutely nothing because no one likes or uses Liam. Moving on. For our beloved dinosaur love interest Vetra, all I did was basically remove her Geiger counter because it's in the way of her beautiful dinosaur face. Overall, she's pretty much perfect already. And of course, you already know the drill here. With Drac and Jaw, I really didn't have issues with them. They're already designed pretty good. But for all you ladies there interested in modding Jaw though, I think I saw some skin recolor mod for him just in case you didn't like looking at his purple ass. Finally, for Ryder, I thought about shaving his patchy ass beard but decided to keep it because I think it adds to his charm. So all I cared about was being able to change the color of the scarf in the scavenger armor, because that's my favorite armor and the one I wore for the entirety of the game. There's two types of gamers, alright? The ones who look at the equipment stats and have their characters super optimized but make them look like a complete doofus. And there are those who don't care about the stats at all but get one-shotted by bosses, but they go down in style. I'm sure you can guess which one I am already. And by the way, I haven't installed any mods that affects the gameplay itself because currently, I really don't have any issues with the gameplay yet, but we'll see in the future. And with all that modding out of the way, we can finally get back into our Mass Effect Andromeda adventure. Last episode, we basically showed Addison our Big Daddy Schlong and slapped her with it. Now that she knows who's boss, we can finally move on into exploring Andromeda Galaxy in order to find more waifu contenders. As we're hyperdriving, all of a sudden we got ourselves pinned down by a fleet of spaceships. Little did I know, this was actually the Alien King all the way back from episode 1, and he was actually trying to initiate a Zoom meeting with me. I can't tell you how much I hate these online meetings. It's always so awkward and icky. Plus there's always those types of unprofessional people who loves to display their boyfriend lying in the bed in the back with their balls hanging out. So the most logical thing to do here is to run away. After escaping that nightmare, we emergency landed in this alien planet called Aya. So I made my entrance like that one scene from Mars Attacks where the Martians finally landed to Earth. But this time, I actually came in peace. I was met by these alien called Angarans and finally met our final squad mate for this game, Jol. As they were escorting me throughout their city, I saw this hot Angaran chick and decided to check her out.
Get down, everyone! Last warning.
I guess we'll just do that later then. I met with the resistance leader and explained to him how we needed to go inside their vault in order to do some Pathfinder magic. He was being a little bitch about it, but Jol convinced him otherwise. I basically just made a deal with him and said I'll help the Angaran people and find our missing scientist called the Moshai. With that out of the way, we're finally back to the task at hand, and with that, I beelined my way into the nearest Angaran pussy. And just like that, we got another contender for our waifu roster. So we had a meeting on the Tempest and was given 2 options for planets to explore. Doesn't really matter which one you pick, so I just picked this planet called Vold. There's really not much to say about this planet other than it's the home for the Angaran resistance and it's really cold and it makes your balls shrink. So I spent about an hour side questing and massacring every cat that I see in order to progress my levels. And because of all my good deeds, I finally got the coordinates where the Moshai was being held captive along with the Angaran people. I normally would just pick Vetra for the majority of my missions, but this time, I decided to give Cora a try because of her massive facelift. So we got dropped off at this cat base and we started inching on forward. And you guys already know that I already like the battle system in this game, but one thing that I noticed that might need some improvement is the skill slots. With the amount of awesome selection of skills available in this game, it's such a shame that we can only use 3 active skills at a time. And I know we can set up profiles that can be activated during battles, but the thing is, whenever you change into a different profile, all your skills go into a cooldown, which makes it honestly a little bit awkward. So maybe if I can find a mod that removes the cooldown whenever you switch profiles, that's gonna make the game so much more fun. I know it's gonna be OP, but who the hell really cares? It's not like it's an online game, right? Plus, whenever you're playing on hardcore or insanity, even some of the normal enemies gets really bullet spongy, so I think it should even out in the end. But that's for another video. Anyway, we got to see some behind the scenes action on what Vitali does on his free time. Only this time, he doesn't transform into a juiced up monster, he just transforms into another cat. Jol was devastated by this because Vitali was his favorite prank YouTuber back then. I told him to stop being a little bitch because we got some mission to do. So we finally got to the end and had a boss fight with this Voldemort looking alien. There's nothing really special about it and it's just your typical boss fight. What got me though was the 2 choices the game gives me, which honestly made me question my morality. It's whether to save the imprisoned Angarans leaving the cat base standing, or just destroy the base including its captives. I just stared at the screen for a few minutes scratching my head, but at the end, I just opted with saving the Ingarns. I immediately regretted this choice because I think it would be just wiser to just destroy the base. Can't really do anything about it now, but at least I can shoot the Cardinal in the back. And with Ryder saving the day once more, concludes our journey for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you think that Korra is pretty hot now, hit that like button. And if you want to see some hot Korra smashing action in the future because you're a horny bastard, subscribe! And with that, I'm August First Class, signing off. Peace!